What if the reason you're not where you want to be isn't lack of talent, luck, or opportunity, but one powerful decision you've been avoiding your entire life? What if everything changes the moment you stop putting yourself last and finally choose you? Right now, there are people waking up earlier than you, thinking bigger than you, and stepping into a life you know deep down you're capable of living. Not because they're more gifted, but because they made a decision you haven't fully committed to yet. A decision to stop waiting, stop doubting, and stop shrinking themselves to fit into someone else's expectations. This message isn't just motivation, it's a wake-up call. Because if you keep putting your dreams on hold, if you keep prioritizing comfort over growth and other people's opinions over your own purpose, you will keep getting the same results year after year. But today, that ends. In the next few minutes, you're going to discover a mindset shift that can completely transform your life, from feeling stuck and overlooked to becoming focused, confident, and unstoppable. You'll understand why putting yourself first is not selfish, but the most powerful move you can make if you truly want success, freedom, and fulfillment. So don't skip this. Don't just listen halfway. Stay with this message until the very end. Because one idea, one shift, one decision can change everything. And by the time you finish this video, you won't just feel motivated. You'll be ready to take control and make success follow you relentlessly. The idea that putting yourself first is selfish is one of the most limiting beliefs a person can carry, because it conditions individuals to ignore their own needs, desires, and growth in order to satisfy others or maintain approval. In reality, prioritizing yourself is not about neglecting others or acting out of arrogance. It is about recognizing your responsibility to develop your own potential so you can live with purpose and strength. When a person constantly places others ahead of their own well-being, they often become drained, unfocused, and resentful, which ultimately reduces their ability to contribute meaningfully to anyone else. By choosing to put yourself first, you are making a conscious decision to invest in your mental clarity, emotional stability, physical energy, and personal goals, all of which are essential for long-term success and fulfillment. This mindset shift allows you to set clear boundaries, protect your time, and focus your energy on what truly matters, instead of being pulled in multiple directions by external expectations. It also builds a stronger sense of self-worth, because you begin to see yourself as someone whose dreams and needs are valid and important, rather than secondary. When you operate from this place of self-respect, your actions become more intentional, your decisions more aligned with your vision, and your confidence naturally increases. People who truly achieve great things understand that their growth is their responsibility, and they do not wait for permission to pursue it. They create routines, habits, and environments that support their progress, even if it means saying no to distractions or stepping away from situations that do not serve them. Over time, this commitment to self-priority creates a solid internal foundation, making you more resilient in the face of challenges and more capable of handling opportunities when they arise. It is not about choosing yourself instead of others, but about strengthening yourself so you can show up at your highest level in every area of life, whether in relationships, career, or personal development, without losing your identity or compromising your goals. Clarity of purpose is the driving force that transforms scattered effort into focused progress, allowing a person to move with direction instead of confusion. Without a clearly defined purpose, energy becomes divided, decisions become uncertain, and actions lead nowhere meaningful. Many people work hard every day yet feel stuck because they have not taken the time to define exactly what they want and why they want it. When purpose is unclear, distractions easily take control, and even small obstacles can feel overwhelming because there is no deeper reason pushing you forward. However, when you gain clarity of purpose, everything begins to align. Your thoughts, actions, and priorities start working together toward a single objective. This clarity acts like a compass, guiding your decisions and helping you eliminate what does not serve your goals. It strengthens your focus, making it easier to say no to opportunities, habits, or people that pull you away from your vision. With a clear purpose, your motivation becomes more stable because it is no longer dependent on temporary emotions, but rooted in something meaningful and deeply personal. You begin to understand the value of your time and use it more intentionally, investing it in activities that move you closer to your desired outcome. Clarity also enhances confidence, because when you know what you are working toward, uncertainty loses its power and hesitation decreases. You are able to take action with greater conviction, even when the path is challenging or results are not immediate. This sense of direction creates momentum as each step forward reinforces your belief and strengthens your commitment. Over time, consistent action guided by a clear purpose leads to measurable progress, and that progress builds discipline and resilience. Instead of reacting to life, you begin to shape it according to your vision, making choices that reflect your long-term goals rather than short-term comfort. Purpose becomes the foundation upon which success is built, influencing not only what you do, but how you think, how you respond to setbacks, and how persistently you continue moving forward despite difficulties. Self-discipline is the invisible force that separates intention from achievement, turning goals into consistent action, regardless of mood, comfort, or external circumstances. It is not about being perfect or never feeling resistance, but about developing the ability to act in alignment with your purpose even when it is difficult or inconvenient. Many people rely on motivation to begin, but motivation is temporary and unpredictable, often fading the moment challenges appear. Self-discipline, on the other hand, creates stability because it is built on commitment rather than emotion. When you cultivate discipline, you train yourself to follow through on what you said you would do, building a sense of trust in your own ability to execute. This trust becomes a powerful asset, strengthening confidence and reducing hesitation, because you know you can depend on yourself to take action. Discipline also shapes your daily habits, and habits ultimately define your results. The small choices you make repeatedly, how you spend your time, how you respond to distractions, how you manage your energy, accumulate into significant outcomes over time. By maintaining control over these choices, you prevent short-term impulses from derailing long-term progress. It requires the willingness to delay gratification, to prioritize what truly matters over what feels easy or immediately rewarding, and to remain focused even when progress seems slow or invisible. As discipline strengthens, it reduces the mental effort needed to make decisions because your actions become more automatic and aligned with your goals. This allows you to conserve energy for higher-level thinking and problem-solving rather than constantly battling internal resistance. In challenging moments, discipline becomes your anchor, keeping you steady when emotions fluctuate or when external conditions are unfavorable. It ensures that you continue moving forward even at a slow pace, which is often enough to maintain momentum and avoid stagnation. Over time, this consistent effort builds resilience, sharpens focus, and creates a strong internal structure that supports growth in every area of life, enabling you to handle greater responsibilities and pursue bigger ambitions without losing direction or control. Belief in yourself is the foundation upon which every meaningful achievement is built, because it determines how you interpret challenges, how boldly you act, and how persistently you continue when results are uncertain. Without this belief, even the most talented individuals hesitate, second-guess their decisions, and often abandon their goals at the first sign of difficulty. Self-belief is not something you are simply born with. It is developed through repeated experiences of action, learning, and growth. It begins with the way you speak to yourself and the assumptions you make about your own potential. When you believe you are capable, your mind starts to search for solutions instead of excuses, and obstacles become problems to solve rather than barriers that stop you. This shift in perspective changes everything, because your actions begin to reflect confidence rather than fear. You take more initiative, embrace opportunities, and are willing to step outside your comfort zone, which is where real progress happens. At the same time, belief in yourself allows you to handle failure differently. Instead of seeing it as proof of inadequacy, you recognize it as feedback and a necessary part of the process. This resilience keeps you moving forward while others give up. Self-belief also influences how others perceive and respond to you, as confidence tends to attract trust, collaboration, and opportunity. However, it is important to understand that belief alone is not enough. It must be supported by action. Each time you follow through on a commitment or push past resistance, you strengthen your belief, creating a reinforcing cycle where action builds confidence and confidence fuels further action. Over time, this cycle becomes a powerful internal system that drives growth and achievement. Doubt may still appear, but it loses its control because your belief is grounded in evidence created by your own efforts. This internal certainty enables you to stay focused on your vision despite external opinions or temporary setbacks, allowing you to maintain direction and momentum even in uncertain conditions. consistency over intensity is a principle that emphasizes the power of steady, repeated effort rather than short bursts of extreme action that are difficult to sustain. Many people begin their journey with high energy and enthusiasm, pushing themselves to work harder than usual for a limited period. But this intensity often fades quickly, leading to burnout, frustration, or complete TWQF in progress. In contrast, consistency focuses on maintaining a manageable level of effort every day, regardless of mood or circumstances, which allows progress to continue without interruption. It is the daily commitment to small actions that gradually build momentum and create lasting results over time. When you act consistently, you reduce the pressure to perform at your peak every moment, and instead prioritize showing up regularly, which is far more sustainable and effective in the long run. This approach transforms success from something dependent on motivation into something driven by habit, where actions become automatic and require less mental effort. Consistency also allows you to track progress more clearly, as steady input leads to predictable outcomes, making it easier to adjust your strategy when needed. It strengthens discipline because you learn to follow through even on days when you feel unmotivated, reinforcing the habit of action regardless of emotional state. Over time, these repeated efforts compound, creating significant growth that may not be immediately visible but becomes undeniable as results accumulate. This compounding effect is what separates those who achieve lasting success from those who experience temporary progress. Intensity can be useful in certain moments, such as when you need to push through a critical challenge, but without consistency, those moments have little lasting impact. By focusing on consistent effort, you build resilience, maintain momentum, and avoid the extremes of overexertion and inactivity. This steady approach also creates a sense of stability and control, as you are no longer relying on unpredictable bursts of energy, but instead following a structured pattern of action that supports continuous improvement and long-term achievement. Emotional mastery is the ability to understand, manage, and direct your emotions in a way that supports your goals rather than disrupts them, allowing you to remain focused and effective regardless of external circumstances. Every person experiences emotions such as fear, doubt, frustration, and anxiety, but the difference lies in how those emotions are handled. Without control, emotions can dominate decision-making, leading to impulsive actions, hesitation, or avoidance of challenges that are necessary for growth. When you develop emotional mastery, you create a space between what you feel and how you respond, giving yourself the power to choose actions that align with your purpose instead of reacting automatically. This does not mean suppressing emotions or pretending they do not exist, but rather recognizing them, understanding their source, and deciding how much influence they should have over your behavior. For example, fear can either stop you from taking action or signal that you are stepping into an area that requires courage and growth, depending on how you interpret it. By learning to reframe emotions in this way, you transform them from obstacles into tools that guide your progress. Emotional mastery also strengthens resilience because it prevents temporary setbacks or negative experiences from overwhelming your mindset. Instead of losing focus or confidence, you maintain stability and continue moving forward with clarity. This stability becomes especially important in high-pressure situations where the ability to stay calm and composed allows you to think more clearly and make better decisions. Over time, managing your emotional responses reduces stress, improves focus, and increases your ability to handle challenges effectively. It also enhances your interactions with others, as you are less likely to react impulsively and more capable of communicating with clarity and control. Developing this level of awareness and control requires practice, patience, and a willingness to observe your own patterns, but it ultimately creates a strong internal foundation that supports consistent action, clear thinking, and long-term success regardless of changing conditions. As we bring this message together, remember that everything begins and ends with the decision to value yourself. When you put yourself first, you are not stepping away from the world. You are preparing yourself to face it with strength, clarity, and purpose. With a clear vision guiding your path, discipline shaping your actions, belief strengthening your mindset, consistency building your momentum, and emotional control keeping you steady, you become a force that cannot be easily shaken. Success is no longer something distant or uncertain. It becomes a natural outcome of who you are becoming each day. The journey will test you. It will challenge your patience and your confidence, but every step you take in alignment with these principles brings you closer to a life of meaning and achievement. I wish you the courage to choose yourself every single day, the strength to stay consistent when it gets difficult, and the belief to keep moving forward even when results are not yet visible. May your efforts open doors you never imagined, and may your journey lead you to success that follows you relentlessly. Thank you for your time, your attention, and your willingness to grow.